What is happening, fishers? Dean here from Untraceable Fishing here once again. Tonight with Don from Bill Moria Fishing Tackle. And welcome to Tackle Tuesday. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us this evening. Hope all is well. So, Don, I see a big range of rods that I've never seen before on the table tonight.
Yeah, it's an exciting time of year. A lot of new rods are coming out from some of the big suppliers.
100%.
And this time we've got some really good budget entry-level rods for the guys who are on their first real rock and surf rod.
Getting into the sport. And
getting into the sport. Some nice little rubber gully type rods as well. And it's a good place to start because, you know, not all of us have got $3-4 grand to spend on a rod. Yeah. You've got to be realistic.
Correct.
Or for a youngster who's saving up himself, his pocket money or something like that, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And you still want something decent at a good price point.
Absolutely. So looking at that, these boys, OKUMA and Loomis and Franklin, both coming out of the Sensation factory.
Correct.
So very similar.
Brother, sister, or brother,
brand rods.
Family rods.
Very similar in that. They start from a 12-foot. We've got a big boy here.
I think we've got big boys here.
Big boys here. Okay, let me start with the Wavepower. Okay, this is a 14-foot. Okay, for the beginners who are out there, a lot of guys want the features of a high-end rod.
You want the bionic fingers.
You want a bionic finger, which is that, so you're not cutting your finger when you're casting a braid. Means you can cast with confidence. You don't have to wear the funny little gloves that wear out and that kind of thing.
You got EVA grips, I see.
Nice, decent quality EVA grips. Nice and durable. We're talking about the
nice rigid
knob, nice and hard, solid. What do they say? Made to be budget but durable.
I think it's certainly even got the same EVA grip that the Euphoria's got on the bottom. Yeah. So it's good EVA they put on.
OKUMA winch, certainly nothing wrong with that at all.
Good winch.
Decent little bionic finger placed in the right position.
Bounded on and not just tied on, which is nice.
Yeah, bounded on, so no cable size like you guys have to jimmy your rods if you're on a budget. I must admit, quite a long front grip.
Yeah.
I'm a tall oak and I don't get there.
Yeah.
I've never got there. I mean, that's beyond my scope. And I think I've got pretty long
arms. Yeah.
Pretty long arms. But split grip as well. I think that's purely for strength and a place to put their logo, which is inspired fishing.
Yeah. Bit of aesthetics.
But OKUMA certainly is stepping up the game as far as making the rods pretty. Wonderful graphics.
Yeah, beautifully finished.
Certainly, it might be a budget rod, but it doesn't look like a budget rod.
It looks like a top-end rod, yeah.
And very similar to the previous generation Wavepowers. These are now called the Wavepower Pro.
Okay.
So I think cosmetically they've improved. There seem to be a few new, like they talk about stable joints. It looks like they've just beefed up the joint area a bit more than the previous generation was. Otherwise, largely the same. Good rods. The little 12-foot, 13-foot are ideal for a youngster. They're nice and light. Correct. I think certainly lightweight is one of their strong points. The 12-foot, if I'm not mistaken, 2 to 4 ounce. The 13-foot, 3 to 5 ounce. And I think that's where these rods are probably their best.
In the lower side.
In the lighter ones. You know, it's that ideal first rod, or for like a lady who's just started fishing and you're not sure if she's going to enjoy it, so you don't want to spend a 3,000 rand rod for it. You're just going to get it going on something. Nice and light. Not too thick on the grip as well. So
with my small hands, all that I've got.
A junior would enjoy that quite nicely. And decent rod. I must admit, it's a tricky price point. But the wonderful thing about these is they actually are bringing a 12, 13-foot rod down to about a 1,000 rand mark.
Which is
and
very good value for money.
Even the bigger boys, are only 100, 150 rand more than that.
Yeah.
So that's the Wavepower. They go a 14-foot as well. And then we've
got in front of us.
We've got a 14. What did I say that was up to? There's a 4 to 6 ounce.
Yeah, bit of a heavier one.
And then a 15-foot as well, which I think is a 5 to 7 ounce. I must admit, not the kind of rods I'd push a 7 ounce in a big bait on.
Yeah.
I think they are a little soft, if I'm criticizing. Yeah. But that softness also makes for a fairly easy casting rod.
Correct. Yeah.
Your timing doesn't have to be...
for the newer guys out there. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be superbly timed. You can still get a reasonable flick and distance on it.
The rod's going to do the work for you.
And still fairly sensitive in carbon. Bit of fiberglass in the mix. I think it's an 80% carbon rod, they claim. So, but it's really strong. And what I like about them is that forgivingness also in fighting your fish and that your knots don't take as much strain. So there's certainly... In this price point, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that the brands can bring a fully featured rod
out for that price is actually quite phenomenal.
Less than $1,000 is quite a testament to where technology has gone today.
Then I see we got its brother cousin in front of us with a nice blue finish, Smurf blue finish.
I must admit the two rods look very, very similar.
Yeah.
I think different strokes for different folks as far as cosmetics and that go to a large degree. Plain black, which I quite like.
Yeah, the plain black, yeah.
So plain black does me. The camo thing looks cool for a while, but with some pilchard stains and that.
Start going yellow.
I like it black. And got the little Loomis and Franklin logo there. Same bionic finger. Not a branded winch shear, but the winch quality certainly feels fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. Same diameter EVA grip, but quite a nice blue.
Very nice blue.
I think it pops quite nicely. Exactly the same features across the range, I think, at 12, 13, 14, and 15 foot. So very much sister rods from and purely on a cosmetic basis, I think the Surge looks a bit better. I don't know.
One thing I did notice, it looks like they've got two slightly different eyes. That looks very K-series like. I don't know if it is a K-series. I'm not going to say it is. And then that's on the Loomis, and then obviously the.
Okay, well, so that's actually a good spot. Well done.
Sometimes, I see the Wavepower's got slightly different eyes.
Okay, that's working well. Okay, well, let's have a chat about that.
Yeah.
Well, I dig out the Surge, nice color bag as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so interesting point. Okay, because I was actually saying to you just before we started tonight, I said, why would I bother to buy the Loomis and Franklin instead of the OKUMA if they look identical? And yet you just pointed out to me where they're not identical. Okay. So we've got two different guards there, guys. I don't know if you can spot that. Let me hold them there. The likes of the OKUMA are straight up.
Yeah.
And the likes of that are forward canting. Any idea why? What's your thoughts on that?
So listen, if I had to choose, if I was still fishing, the guy fishing mono and things like that, I might choose the OKUMA. If I was a braid ready guy, I'd probably go for the Loomis.
Okay. So it's not a Fuji guide, but the whole idea of your guide going at an angle like it as well is it's a slightly higher guide and it's angled like this to kind of match the angle to your reel.
Correct.
So it handles the loops a bit better. On most other brands,
them in a bit better,
they call it an anti-tangle guide.
Correct.
Your chance of wind knots in it are reduced.
A lot,
So for that reason alone, I'd say possibly the Loomis and Franklin as well as the cosmetics. What I also quite like as well are little things. I love seeing a binding where I get a separate color binding.
Some extra.
Just a little bling.
Steps it up to its elegance up a bit.
Little bling. But otherwise, not a bad little setup. They're certainly nice and light. Pretty solid carbon. But just don't push them beyond their limits, guys. If I was critical, I wish they had added one or two extra guides. I think they're the guide count. I can understand they're trying to keep it at a price point. But I do like something with a little more guides than that. One extra would certainly help.
Especially on the heavier rods. On
the 15 foots and that. You find less guides actually puts a bit of strain on your
more strain into the blank, correct.
But you know what? At the price point, I mean,
you can't complain.
We're talking about a 13-foot for I think it's $9.99, dude.
If you look at a year ago or something, if you're looking for a rod for $1,000 you're buying absolute.
Oh, you could buy yourself a 10-foot.
10-foot, yes, but not a 13 or 14.
Or you could buy yourself a 12-foot, maybe a 2-piece with no bionic finger. Now you're getting bionic finger. You're getting a 3-piece rod, which is easy to transport. So
it looks the part.
And it's going
to pull fish.
Yeah, you go with your mates and that. You know, the Wavepowers, we are to some degree tackle snobs.
Yes,
I must admit, I love a good rod.
No, 100%,
I'll actually admit I love a good rod.
We've been fortunate enough to be able to fish with them, which does help.
When you fish to the best, going to a budget doesn't always rock the boat for you. But I know the guys fishing in Cape Town, in particular False Bay, the Strandfontein, Broken Road. They actually know what I'm talking about. Cobbies and that. Those Wavepowers, they've been using them, huh? This is a previous spec Wavepower. And they've been catching decent cob on them. We're talking 10, 20 kilo cob.
Yeah, the rod's not going to...
Yeah,
it's not going to disappoint you in that factor.
You know, I always say to myself, the fish doesn't know what rod I've used.
No.
Doesn't know what reel I've used.
Correct.
And for the price points thing, they can do the job. Hats off to both of them.
I think so. They've done very well to get that out.
For the modern guide and the better cosmetics, in my opinion, I would lean towards Loomis and Franklin.
Is it slightly more expensive though?
It is. I think it's a
smidgen,
I think it's about $100 to $200
more expensive,
So a smidgen more, but better guides than that.
Slightly upgraded.
Yeah. No, actually, you know, guides are running like $30, $40 a guide. And by the time you actually add the binding and the labor and that, it's quite expensive to upgrade a rod.
Yes,
So at this price point, kind of nice to buy something that you're happy with.
Correct.
I think is maybe. But then they also brought out a Wavepower Pro in my favorite rods from OKUMA.
I see these little 2-piece estuary cross light gully or light fishing rods. Beautiful little rods, eh?
Anyone who's ever walked into Balmoria in our stores and said, I want a light rod for my youngster, or I'm just going gully fishing and that, starting off drop shot and that. The previous Wavepower, I think we have sold thousands of them.
Correct. I've seen a lot of them out on the rocks. I've seen a lot of guys using them.
And they've performed exceptionally well. For a very similar price point now, they brought out the Wavepower Pro. What they've done is just perked them up a bit.
Yeah.
Lovely EVA, nice solid,
molded grips.
High density, decent OKUMA winch, and wonderful cosmetics.
Yeah, beautiful wrap on the carbon wrap in the
yeah, got a nice carbon look. It almost looks very much like Euphoria.
Correct.
They've copied that Euphoria look wonderfully. And what I like about them, most of the opposition in this game, it might be changing at some point, but most of the opposition have some wonderful 7-foot rods, where these guys do an 8 and a 9 foot.
9 foot in it, yeah, great.
And a 9-foot rod that can handle like a 4,000 size little Shimano reel or OKUMA reel, and say up to a 1.5 pound sinker, is a tremendously versatile rod.
Yeah, you can start pushing from estuaries into the sea as well with it, not just basic
You
estuaries.
can do, especially drop shot for like your river mouths and that, ideal. It's light enough to go into the rivers with your drop shot and lure casting. But for targeting blacktail and bluefish in the gullies, perfect. So something like this, married to like 15-pound braid.
Beautiful little setup.
8 foot away. They do a 7, 8, and a 9 foot, and they are incredibly nice little rods. I mean, what I probably think sets them apart from the rest of the gang is a really nice action.
Yeah.
Just got enough flick to...
Yeah, that light one's beautiful. A nice little river rod.
And nice curve to them. Very nice curve. Decent quality guides. Had no issues in the guides whatsoever. You know, it's interesting when it comes to rod guides. A lot of guys go on about their preferred double foot guide.
Yes.
And yes, it does make a guide more durable. A lot of guys go onto that. And these are more inclined to bend, and you've got to be careful in transporting them in. But the other theory is in your single foot guides, while you sometimes find them on a 2,000 Rand rod in this class, is
your rod holds its action better.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got less binding. You've got less hot spots on the rod. So a single foot guide has certainly got its place. What I like about them as well, nice guide sizing, decent size up front. They've done the spacing perfectly. These are extremely well sorted products, which they've now pumped. Yeah.
Even I found with these guides, even if you do bump and flat, you can
straighten them quite easily.
You can't do it 30 times, but you can straighten them back.
Once or twice, you'll be fine. And I cannot recommend these enough. Any bass, river,
that's what I like about it. It's a perfect little rod just to have around the house if you want to go do some bass.
For a youngster upgrading from a kiddie combo, this is like
the next step up.
Answer.
And you're getting something decent.
They're a stunning little rod. And what I have noticed about them, on light rods, you sometimes got to take a little bit tongue in cheek when they say something can cost 2 ounce.
2 ounce, yeah.
You know, I'm like,
it can flick a 2 ounce, not cost 2 ounce. Yeah.
They have actually adjusted the weights to a more logical price point. The 7 foot up to 30 gram, which is like an ounce.
Yeah, ounce, yeah.
And I think we've got an 8 foot here, which is up to about an ounce and a half, I think, yeah. Where am I at? 40 grams, pushing an ounce and a half. So great little rods. Highly fishable, got no hassle whatsoever. And I think price point like $500-600.
Yeah,
you know, so bang on the money for what they are price wise.
I know we definitely very, very soon, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to put these on the boat and give them a little spotty run.
Yeah,
see what they can pull out.
We're gonna do a sensation casting day. Sometimes it's in August, eh?
September
22nd. Yeah, so check out on Facebook and that you'll find there's a casting day coming up. What's going to be quite cool, there's Loomis and Franklin, OKUMA, and Sensation. We're going to have the range of rods.
Full range of rods down.
From low end to top end.
So you're going to be able to come and get your hands on them.
Drop shot. So you're going to get a chance to cast the rods.
Actually feel the rods and cast them, yeah.
And hopefully you can give some pointers to the guys, the beginners, they're struggling to cast.
We're definitely going to do a little bit of a coaching clinic
there,
guys.
Never used the bionic finger before. Want to get more accurate in their drop shot or more distance in their drop shot. We can chat about techniques and tips and that. I'm not claiming to be the best cast on the planet, but we've been doing it for a while.
We've casted enough to be able to cast a bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. We can hit the water.
99% of the times. It's always that 1%.
Okay, and then we've got a big beast there.
I see that. This is a Looks like a Navy SEAL, this thing. Tell us about this beautiful reel I've got you, Don.
Okay. OKUMA is particularly strong in the freshwater carp market.
Specimen, yeah.
It's a fascinating style of fishing. What I enjoy about this really superb action.
Oh, that's quite fancy. I didn't see that.
Anti-reverse at the back there. They've certainly changed that up as well. I've never noticed one there. Normally it's up top there.
Beautiful matte black finish.
Matte black finish. Decent metal construction throughout. This is what they call the custom black. The guys are all fishing 4 kg nylon on these. I think you're standing in the comps. Everything about this, as far as the long cast spool, line lay, designed for max casting distance. They are, feels good. I think it's a little bit 4 bearing count.
Yeah.
But certainly decent. I was saying it hasn't got much progression in the drag, but they actually claim that. I see it's got a fast progression drag.
Oh, okay.
So it does. So, you know, as salties look for different specs to what a carp fishing
100%.
I think is
two total different assets of fishing.
And certainly distance. And in the carp environment, the guys are pushing on their 12, 14-foot rods. They're pushing 200 million plus casts.
No, I see that. I was actually blown away.
It's crazy how far they cast.
With that overhand.
And then they're going up like a 4 or 5 ounce in that.
Yeah.
It's really, it's pushing the maximum limits.
Yeah.
And in that game, mono is still very much the king.
Correct.
Now, braid has certainly not come into the fore. So, certainly one to look at. I enjoy the wooden handle. It reminds me of one of the previous generation ones they had. I forget the name. Aventa, one of those ones.
I remember
Aventa
that
Pro.
one, yeah.
Had the
it's
wooden
a nice
handle.
aesthetic to have.
It does. A little metal shaft running into it. Certainly feels very comfy now. Icy cold winter by the dam.
Yeah, it's going to be
that'll feel quite
nice and warm, yeah.
So, yeah, the custom black. I think they've got also an awesome range of custom black rods as well, if I'm not mistaken, which will pair very nice.
Something definitely to look out there for guys if you're the
carp
fishing or freshwater fisherman.
So if you're
definitely have a look at one of those.
I think have a look at the entire OKUMA range. Yeah. They've got some incredible reels to suit your price point and your specs across the range, from bottom end to the very top end. So nice new one. Any final summary and thoughts?
No, so just run through. So anyway, guys, we have I know it's August, but we have Christmas around the corner. So if you are starting to look for gifts for your loved ones, the youngster, the wife, I think OKUMA and Loomis have given you a beautiful selection to start off at. It's a nice price point. It's not going to break the budget.
Yeah, and like let's just you know, a lot of guys ask questions. What rod should I buy?
Yeah.
Maybe we should actually just try and spin that to answering that kind of question here. Who are these rods for?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. As I mentioned, I think a youngster, someone beginning, first time out, yes.
Yes.
Nice and light, easy casting, ticks the boxes. Price is
100%.
good. For the guy who's starting to think about catching sharks in that, though, on the 15-foot, a lot of guys say, oh, the 15-foot can cast up to 7 ounce. Can I maybe cast an 8 ounce in that and maybe a bonnie head?
I think then you're starting to look for, you're going to start looking for problems.
And nothing against the brands here, but
you have to start looking at it.
But you need to spend a bit. You just need to spend a bit more budget.
Yes.
You know, there's an old adage you can either something that's was it light, cheap, and strong. You can't have all three.
Yeah.
And the budget's good here, the action's good, but they're not made as strong as the top of the range, like the Mariana, like Yerkes, like
correct,
the Fishers, or the Euphoria, and that. There's a reason why the high end rods are definitely stronger.
Yeah.
But the 12, 13 foot, I think, are stunning.
Perfect rods.
I think they're fantastic.
I think the 14 and 15 will be nice. I'm not saying target massive sharks with them, but
for edibles,
edibles fine. If you just want, if you're a guy that just likes a bit of a heavier rod to pull a bit, you don't want to play around a bit.
No, very much so.
Beautiful rod.
And if you think about it, you can get yourself a rod, a reasonable little reel for about 500 rand, like a Revenger Pro would go quite nicely,
and put braid on it.
And you can put braid on it, all for less than 2,000 rand.
Yeah,
that's commendable. I mean, that really is. So you've got to decide: do you want a complete setup for less than $2,000, or just a rod for $2,000 plus?
Yeah.
You know, and I think the river rods here, any angler,
I think
can really appreciate them.
Entry or not entry, but like entry mid-range rod. I've been fishing for years, and I'd happily fish with this. It's a beautiful little rod.
Yeah, it's as sensitive as anything.
Yeah.
So anyone in the river, bass, Kali type environment, highly recommend it. I think you've got to spend like 3 times the price to get anything vaguely better.
Oh, these are definitely as good as, like, if I go back 15 years, my top end rods, these feel as good as what my top end rods were, say, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? They're definitely
they're nice and light, and you can cast them all day long. Well finished. So certainly in that range, hats off. So Loomis I'm particularly fond of.
Yeah, beautiful. I like that blue. It does it for me.
Yeah. The Loomis would be my big tick, and then the Wavepower Pro and the shorter lengths I think is a massive plus.
Yeah.
The Wavepower there, if you're on an extremely tight budget, yes. But if you can squeeze the extra 100 or 200 bucks, the Loomis. I've got a big thing on the Loomis. I've got an old Loomis IM9.
I know you got your Sharky. You always talk about your Sharky.
I've got an IM9 9-foot graphite rod, a drop shot rod. Flip, I love that thing. Very poor quality guys with the blankets rod of the best I've ever fished with. And my Loomis Sharky, 13'6" multiplier rod. That thing still pulls like a bus. So yeah, Loomis has got a brand that a lot of anglers know and trust.
Correct.
And I think you're getting a well sorted product with them. And certainly the guys back up the product very well. So yeah, hats off to Sensation
for bringing this in and offering them to the public.
At the price point.
Yep.
You know,
unbelievable.
$9.99. Gee, dude, you know, you can't. Yeah, $9.99. I think up to $11.50.
Yeah.
So like, hey.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get a rod at this quality for that price anyway.
I can't think of another rod of the Barney finger at that price.
No, I was trying to think of one earlier and I couldn't.
No. So you're getting all the spec at a great price point. So it's kind of a wrap from my side.
That's it.
They are available on our online store. The stock has arrived. The guys, so far, impressions have been fairly good in the store. Yeah. The guys are loving the color of that surge.
Yeah, beautiful color.
Surge, that just pops at you like on the stand there. Whoa, that looks a cool looking rod. How much is it?
And that's the question
you always get. You know what I mean?
Okay, well anyway, guys, thanks for joining us for Tackle Tuesday. Please remember, as Don has just mentioned, all these beautiful products, the Loomis Surge, the OKUMA Wavepower, the Wavepower, the S3, or the shorter wave powers, and the OKUMA, what is it called? The black.
Custom black.
The custom black, my apologies. The custom black, all available online on Warm Warrior. Please go check them out. Check out their Facebook page. Also, if you haven't had a look yet, check out Untraceable Fishing on YouTube. Give us a follow, notification. Anyway, guys, until next week, Dean from Untraceable Fishing, and a big thank you from Don from Warm Warrior Fishing Tackle. This was Tackle Tuesday.